Okay, album number 7 is Irrecoverably Lost by Durbatuluk, the only black metal album in this video. And that's quite unusual for me. Well, I'm not into black metal at all, I don't listen to this genre, but I happen to be the subscriber of Farwan. He makes funny videos about black metal, and his videos put a smile on my face, so I decided to give his one-man project Durbatuluk a chance. I listened to Irrecoverably Lost and I liked it very much. However, it wasn't one of my favorites until recently. Well, when I happen to be in a bad mood, I give this album a listen, and when I'm in a good mood, I also give it a listen, and I listened to it once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, and it became one of my favorites. I absolutely love the very first song, the title song Irrecoverably Lost. The guitar intro is amazing. By the way, one of the reasons I love metal is that it makes me learn a lot of new English words. A lot of metal musicians, they aren't native English speakers, and English isn't my native language either, so when I listen to metal I also happen to discover some new words. Album number 7 is Ghost of a Rose by Blackmore's Night. I am a long-time fan of Blackmore's Night. I listened to their albums multiple times, including their recent release Nature's Light. Nature's Light is also a solid album. I'm not saying that because it's a recent album, but because I listened to it multiple times and I loved it very much. But no album tops Ghost of a Rose for me. I loved the title song, Ghost of a Rose, and I loved Cartouche, 3 Black Crows, Ivory Tower, All for One, Queen for a Day Part 1. Most of these songs, they followed me since good old university days, and some I discovered anew when I gave their albums another listen. And also this album has my all-time favorite Blackmore's Night song, Lorelei. This song hooked me from the very beginning. When I heard that song, it made me think of a feast in Middle-earth. It just made me think of Tolkien and Lord of the Rings. And that was before I got exposed to a lot of Tolkien-themed music. Speaking of Tolkien music, I find it kinda ironic that Lorelei is not inspired by Tolkien, yet it gave me a lot more Tolkien vibes than all the Tolkien-themed songs combined. I also remember that I was reading the Silmarillion when I discovered that song. So Lorelei and the Silmarillion, they go well together for me. And when I reread the Silmarillion 2 years ago, I listened to that song as well. Album number 9 is Peter Gabriel 3, The Melt. Contrary to the popular beliefs, metalheads do not shy away from different types of music. We love to discover other types of music. We do not limit ourselves, and we are capable of liking non-metal music. As for myself, I consider myself to be a pretty conservative listener, but moderate conservative listener. I do not rush to discover new music just in the sake of being open-minded. But I do search for new music. I love discovering new artists, new bands, new albums and new songs. Like I said, I found out about Peter Gabriel when I heard Tarja cover his song Darkness. Well, in my opinion, that song is so much scarier than all the black and death metal songs combined. I'm talking about Peter Gabriel's original song, not of Tarja's cover. I absolutely love the first song, Intruder. That song is kinda heavy and also no self-control. I don't remember, Lead a Normal Life. All solid songs. My favorite song on the album is Games Without Frontiers. The lyrics, they kinda make me think of kindergarten children playing. This album is very diverse, it has many different elements. Oh, by the way, there is also a German version of this album named Ein Deutsches Album. I listened to this album as well, and from musical perspective it was very good. But it was kinda weird to hear him sing in German. You can tell that the singer on the album isn't German, even if you don't speak the language. I don't speak it, and it was obvious to me, even without knowing who Peter Gabriel was, that he wasn't German. Well, I never thought I'd hear an Englishman sing in German. Got used to things being the other way around. And speaking of the other way around, finally we came to the album that I didn't pay much attention to. Some of the songs of this album, they were my favorites, but I didn't perceive them as a part of the album. I gave this album a few listens a few months ago, and it grew on me eventually. And the album is Beyond the Red Mirror by Blaine. I ignored this album. I discovered this band a few months before this album came out. It came out in January 2015, and the whole year passed before I gave this album a listen. My favorite songs always were Twilight of the Gods, Prophecies at the Age of Time, and The Throne. The Throne was and still is my favorite song on the album, especially the instrumental part in the middle. While I loved these songs, like I said, I didn't perceive them as a part of the album, and I enjoyed them separately. I'm a firm believer that a song can sound different to you when you hear it in your own playlist and when you hear it on an album. At least it was a total different experience for me. The songs like The Ninth Way and Ashes of Eternity, they really grew on me. I like them very much. The later song is very fast, and I like that. Distant Memories and Miracle Machine are kinda sad to me, and I didn't give them much of a listen, but these are very good songs. The later song has a lot of Queen vibes. A few words about the lyrics. I tried analyzing them multiple times, and I felt like I have drunk a lot of beer. Oh yeah, that's a very good tip. How to get drunk without getting drunk. Just try analyzing the lyrics on Beyond the Red Mirror album. The next album is At the Age of Time by Blaine. Yes, Blaine, again. So this is literally the first album from them that I heard. I have mentioned this story multiple times, but I will repeat it again. I was a huge A Song of Ice and Fire nerd. I said in my Facts About Me video that this was literally my illness. I was obsessed with it. And then I came across this song called A Voice in the Dark. Found out that it was about one of the characters from the series. And that was it. And the rest is history. But I can't say that this song really impressed me from the first time. At the time, that was 2014, I was more leaning symphonic. And that song was way too fast and heavy for me at the time. And the song itself, while it's very good, it was full of complex English words that I didn't know at the time. And I was like, oh no, this is so confusing to me. Apart from A Voice in the Dark, the songs I loved were Control the Divine, Curse My Name, Ride into Obsession, definitely, and Channel Into the Void, and the acoustic version of War of the Thrones. You probably guessed it that it's also inspired by A Song of Ice and Fire. For some reason, Ride into Obsession is on my playlist when I enter bookstores. And yes, I can say that this is literally my theme for checking things at the bookstores. Oh yeah, and the biggest consequences of listening to this band is right behind me. I have already made a video about it, go check that out. And finally, the 12th and the last album. If this was a top list, this album would be an ultimate winner. There are only 8 songs on this album, but each song is impressive, and I think it's the best album by this band. Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath by Black Sabbath. I love the first 5 Black Sabbath albums. I like Paranoid, I like the first self-titled album, and Wall 4 and The Master of Reality. When I was reading this Ozzy Osbourne biography, I also listened to the first 5 albums in a row, but I stopped after Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath, because I think that the band peaked with this album. This is the best album in my opinion. There isn't a single bad song on the album. You have the self-titled Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath, a National Acrobat, Sabracadabra, the Fluff. Gonna be honest, I listen to Who Are You and the Spiral Architect a little less than the rest of the songs, but they're still very good songs and they fit the album well. Recently, Fluff grew on me. I love this acoustic, relaxing melody very much. It would have been amazing to be able to play that amazing tune on a guitar. My ultimate favorite song on the album is Looking for Today. If you haven't checked that album out, then what are you waiting for? This album is pure perfection. And I rarely say that. I don't really like to say pure perfection, but there are only 2 albums I'm ready to call perfect. These are Demons and Wizards by Rahib and Sabbath Bloody Sabbath by Black Sabbath. That's all. Before I finish this video, I want to make a few honorable mentions. These albums are all spectacular. Sure, they aren't my all-time favorites, but they're still worth mentioning. Queen, Untitled the Opera, Iron Maiden, Somewhere in Time, Nightwish, Imaginarium, Blackmore's Night, Shadow of the Moon, Black Sabbath, Paranoid, Rahib, The Magician's Birthday, Avenged Sevenfold, City of Evil, and also Somewhere Far Beyond and A Twist in the Myth by Blaine. And in fact their entire discography in general. Also I have Imaginations from the Other Side on my shelves. This is the first album of theirs that I bought. Also, fun fact, when I was going to buy an album for myself, I really wanted to buy Somewhere Far Beyond, A Twist in the Myth, or At the Age of Time, or Legacy of the Darklands, but they weren't there. I could buy only one album. They had Nightfall in Middle Earth, they had A Night at the Opera, and they had Imaginations from the Other Side and Beyond the Red Mirror. Now when I think about it, I should have bought Beyond the Red Mirror because I like that one more. But don't get me wrong, it's a solid album, totally worth buying. And that's all, for now. Maybe I will make another video on my favorite albums. And that's all, thank you so much for watching, I hope you enjoyed my video. Please like and subscribe, leave a comment and follow me on social media. Link to my Linktree is down in the description. There is also a link to Amazon where you can buy my debut novel, Nightingale Divine. See you next time. Goodbye.